Alright everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while, and we're gonna do something a little different today. So, I've been waiting on paint to get here. I already got my epoxy 2K primer, but the problem is the weather here in Southern California has not been great, and I gotta paint outside pretty much. Being that the weather's been pretty bad here, lots of rain, lots of humidity, just cold, 50s, 60s every day. I'm close to the beach. That has a lot to do with it, I think. So I haven't been able to spray outside. So what I did is I went to Eastwood and I got some of the Optiflow 2K primer that you can roll on. Thought I'd give it a try. It has pretty good reviews. So thought why not just to get it into primer. That way I can start the body work and all that good stuff. But I'm waiting on it to get here, and while I'm waiting on it to get here, I thought I would do a compression test on the motor because I haven't done that since I got it. It's running, you know, seems to be running okay, but thought I'd do a compression test just to see how everything is running internally, make sure all cylinders are firing with a high enough compression, PSI. So what I did to get started is I removed all my spark plugs, got them labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just took a glance at them. They don't look bad, but then again, like I haven't been running the car really. I ran it for like 20 minutes the other day, just because I haven't run it in a while. On top of removing the spark plugs, I also went ahead and removed the air filter off the car, and I pulled my fuel line off the carburetor, so that's detached. Went ahead and pumped out all the fuel. Then I pinned the throttle back, so that way the throttle is pretty open for the most part. So I just pinned it back with like 2 zip ties. I went ahead and disconnected my ignition coil from the distributor. So all in all, we should be ready to go. Put a little charge on the battery because I think from running it yesterday to pump the fuel, it was running a little low. But I ended up getting a Maddox, this Maddox Deluxe compression test kit, and thought I'd try this out. It was from Harbor Freight. They're running a deal right now, so I don't know, we'll give it a try. Hopefully everything's all good. I've got something to write down all my compression with, so that way I can like keep track of each cylinder, just start at 1 and go from there. And then hopefully we're running good. Hopefully I don't have to do like a leak down test or anything like that. So yeah, let's jump into it. Oh, if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. Every like and subscription helps me so much. Also feel free to pass this video along to your friends. Get them excited about the build, you know, the build process with me, because I'm excited about it. So yeah, this is super fun, and I'm so glad that everybody's here with me on this. So yeah, let's jump into it. All right, so we're gonna test cylinder number 1 right now. So I got this compression tester, I got this extender piece. So basically this is hooked up to this, same size as my spark plug. It's gonna go down into 1, and that just basically screws in down there. Sorry y'all are upside down, but it screws in like so. No, like no. Fantastic. We're in. All right, doesn't have to go in too crazy because it's got these rubber seals. And then, with that said, we're gonna attach our main piece here. That's our compression tester right here, our reader. So now we're gonna turn it over and hope for the best. All right, so I got my notebook, and I'm just gonna basically be writing down each cylinder what we've got. So we've got cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8. So basically I'm just writing it out, and I'm gonna write each one down like so. Yeah. Oh, and if you're running with a remote trigger, this is one way to do it. Hook one end of the remote up to this side of the solenoid, and the other up to the starter of the solenoid. And that is how you use one of these triggers. So you don't have to go into the car and crank it over and over and over, and you can actually watch the gauge and be like right over the motor. Highly recommend getting one. They're so cheap. You can buy them on like Amazon and stuff. Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna go 8 revolutions with it and see what we get. Well, that's not good. Okay, so we're at like 59. Very bad. So we're gonna try again. All right. Same. All right, cylinder number 2. Okay, much better. So we've got 135. So yeah, that's way better on that cylinder. Damn. So 165. All right, cylinder number 7. $165. All right, last and final cylinder, cylinder number 8. Okay, so we're at about 164. So all in all, we are not looking too hot. So 164. So we know, unfortunately, cylinders number 1 and 4 are no good. This whole side of the block, actually, 1 through 4 is just not looking too hot. These aren't bad, 140, 135, but compared with the rest of the cylinders, those are more than 10% off ish in that range, and that's not where we want to be. If they were all looking like this, even to 150, we'd be fine. But this, and maybe this, compared to all that, I mean, that's not good. That sucks. But first, I'm gonna get this thing painted and then figure out where to go from there. Because pulling this just sounds not fun. May recruit some help on this one. Never rebuilt an actual car motor before. Have rebuilt motorcycle motors, never a car. A little different though in some areas. Yeah, good times. Well, that's not what I wanted to see. So, but yeah, next we'll be getting the car into paint. Like I said, we're gonna do primer first. I'm doing a 2K epoxy. Gonna use the Optiflow from Eastwood and see how that works. I'm thinking hopefully it'll work okay. But then after that, I'm gonna start the body work. I got filler and I got the Eastwood filler. Hopefully it works well. Gonna use that and then hit it with more 2K and then probably do like a G2 Evercoat, like feather, coat on it. Then we'll go color and then we'll go clear coat. So there's a lot of body work, paint, etc. to be done. And in the meantime, also now motor work. Sucks, man. That sucks so bad, but that's okay. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm learning, right? That's what we're here for. Also, the 302 in the Bronco out there has just been rebuilt and it sounds great, fires right up. I may test the compression on that, take it from the Bronco because we're engine swapping the Bronco and then use that motor in here. I don't know, we'll see. That might be the easiest way to go about this because it's in pretty good shape. So I may take that guy out. I think it's got like maybe 3,000 miles on it rebuilt. May just swap it and then use that and then do the Coyote swap on the Bronco, the 75 Bronco out there. There's just a lot of moving parts with what little space I have. So I gotta figure out how to do that. We're gonna, it's like a little heart transplant. We gotta transplant one into the other. So there's that. Yeah, good times. I mean, this is a good motor, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if it's worth taking it apart and just seeing if it's salvageable as far as like, pinning. There's no like cracked cylinder walls or anything weird going on in the other side of the block, but I don't know. I don't think it's a head gasket issue because I wasn't hearing air escape. Wasn't feeling it escape into the other cylinders. Also, I'm holding pressure. So I don't think we have a head gasket issue. My guess would be the rings, but the only way to really test that is to throw some oil down in them, then run the compression test again. If I see it jump up, we know it's probably the rings. If it doesn't jump up, it might be the valves. Yeah, who knows? So either way, maybe due for a rebuild. It just would suck to have to take this whole thing out, but we gotta do what we gotta do, right? That's what we signed up for. So thank you guys so much for sticking along. I know this was a short one. Just want to give you guys an update, let you know I'm still here. I'm still working on stuff, been weather permitting, you know, so I'm like, what can I do in the time being? There's a lot actually to do. I mean, I've literally got a whole motorcycle over here that needs to go back together. The 56 BSA D3 Bantam. I'm gonna end up just selling that or doing some sort of giveaway or something with it because yeah, I'm not gonna be riding a motorcycle around LA. It just sounds like craziness. I want to, but not smart. So if you're way more daring than I am, then by all means, let me know, hit me up. Let me know if you want it. We can work out a deal, something good. So yeah, all in all though, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. All right, see ya.